Jan Erceg is a paramedic, an advocate for anything with four legs. To truly know the character of Jan, though, is to know what happened when those two worlds collided.
I've been a paramedic at Area Ambulance for 32 years. I've seen a lot of things, and I have, this one ripped my heart out. And not because it was a dog story, but because I really got to witness something that very few people ever see in their life.
In May 2011, Jan's colleagues were called to the Wal-Mart parking lot. Inside one of the cars was 57-year-old Kevin McClain. He'd been living there, moving parking spaces every day to go unnoticed, spending his last days living with lung cancer. By his side, a collie sheltie mix he'd raised since she was just 5 weeks old. Knowing Jan worked at the animal shelter, paramedics asked her about the fate of the dog. Had she seen a shelter dog named Yurt? She hadn't, and with a smile said she'd remember that name if she had. Then fate stepped in. As a paramedic, she was called to move a dying patient from Mercy Hospital to hospice.
When we moved him to the bed at the hospice house, he said to me, "I have a dog." And I said, "Well, you're talking to the right person, because I do too." And he said, "Her name is Yurt." And that moment, I knew that was his dog and that was the man that they were talking about. And I was dispatched on that call, which is like winning the lottery. And I said, "Kevin, I'm going to bring your dog to see you."
And 4 days later, she did. She'd found Yurt at the shelter. Kevin was at the end of his journey, and Yurt, thanks to Jan, was there.
We spent about an hour and a half there. It's absolutely the most dramatic thing I've ever seen in my life.
I can hear the story.
He died, and he died the next morning. This man had nothing in life but this dog, and it is probably the single most moving thing in my life that I can think of.
That chance meeting changed Jan's life and the life of her newest dog. Yep, Yurt. Yurt's new lease on life includes a dog's life in the country. With 6 other four-legged friends, most of them rescue dogs Jan met through her work at the shelter or through a special group she works with called Critter Crusaders, a group that takes rescue dogs who are sick or injured, facing certain death.
Out of the genuine kindness of her heart, does everything she can for these pets, and especially those animals that are very, very ill and need extensive medical treatment just to become adoptable. She, I think, is one of the most unsung heroes in animal welfare and veterinary medicine that I could ever imagine having met.
I always say, bad people fail animals and good people save them. When you are at a city shelter, you see the worst of the worst. And then again, you see the best of the best.
Jan Erceg, heroically representing the best of the best.